Andrej Karpathy just killed vibe coding. The man who coined the term 1 year ago, co founder of OpenAI, the engineer who got Tesla Autopilot working, just sat down and declared the era officially over. His words and what he said replaces. It is going to change how every developer works for the next decade. This is not hype. This is the most important shift in software since the cloud. And if you don't understand it by the end of this video, you're going to get left behind. Here's how he opened the talk. Quote, I've never felt more behind as a programmer. Let that sink in. Andrej Karpathy, the guy who literally builds the AI that the rest of us use. Telling a room full of founders that he, of all people, feels behind. Why? Because in December, something snapped. He took a break, had a little extra time, and started using the latest agentic tools more seriously. He stopped correcting the code. He stopped editing the output. He just kept asking for more, and it kept coming out fine. He said, quote, I just trusted the system more and more. That moment, he said, was a stark transition. The world quietly crossed a threshold. Most people didn't notice. He did. So, what was vibe coding? Karpathy defines it like this. Vibe coding is about raising the floor. It means anyone can now build software. You don't need a computer science degree. You don't need to know what a closure is. You describe what you want. The model writes it. You run it. And if it works, ship it. That's the floor. And the floor went up massively. Suddenly, designers were shipping apps. Marketers were spinning up landing pages. Founders were prototyping in an afternoon. Vibe coding democratized creation. It was incredible. It was also messy. Bugs slipped through. Security holes shipped to production. Whole code bases existed that no human had ever read. That was the trade. Speed for rigor. And Karpathy says that trade is now over. Here is the exact moment vibe coding died. December 2025. Karpathy points at it directly. New models came out. Coherent agentic workflows started actually working. Not chunks of code, not autocomplete. Full multi step plans, executed, debugged, and tested by the agent itself. He calls it a clear point, a stark transition. And he's blunt about why most people missed it. Quote, a lot of people experienced AI last year as a ChatGPT adjacent thing, but you really had to look again as of December. Because things have changed fundamentally. If you're still using AI like a smarter Google, you're not just behind. You are working in a paradigm that the smartest engineer alive has already abandoned. The window to catch up is right now. So, what replaces it? Karpathy's exact term, agentic engineering. And the definition matters. Vibe coding raised the floor. Agentic engineering preserves the ceiling. It's about keeping the quality bar of professional software while moving 10 times faster. You are not allowed to introduce vulnerabilities. You are not allowed to ship broken systems. You are still responsible for everything that runs in production. But you go faster, way faster. Karpathy calls it a discipline. Because agents are spiky entities, extremely powerful, a little bit stochastic, a little bit fallible. The job of agentic engineering is to coordinate them, control them, verify them, and ship at a quality bar that the old world demanded. This is not vibes. This is engineering, done with agents. Here is the line that will be quoted for years. Karpathy said, agentic, because the new default is that you are not writing the code directly 99% of the time. You are orchestrating agents who do. Read that again. 99% of your code is no longer typed by you. you are the orchestrator. You define the problem, you set the constraints, you review the work, you decide what ships. The agent writes, runs, tests, and iterates. Your hands barely touch the keyboard. This sounds extreme until you realize Karpathy is already living it. His side projects folder is, quote, extremely full with random things he vibe coded all the time. He's not predicting this future, he's reporting from inside it. If you're not writing the code, what skills actually matter now? Karpathy lays out 4 pillars of agentic engineering. Pillar 1, Context Engineering. Your prompt and the context window are your levers over the model. What goes in determines what comes out. Curate it ruthlessly. Pillar 2, Taste and Judgment. The agent fills in the blanks. You decide what is worth building, what unique IDs to use, what the system actually means. Pillar 3, Verification. The agent is fallible. You are the last line of defense before production. Pillar 4, Orchestration. Multiple agents in parallel on different parts of the problem. You coordinate them. These 4 are the new core curriculum. Not syntax, not algorithms. Context, taste, verification, orchestration. Karpathy uses one word that captures everything: director. You are now the director of agents, not the typist, not the implementer, the director. A film director doesn't operate the camera, light the set, or deliver the lines. They decide what the film is, what every scene means, and whether it's good enough to ship. That is your new job. He says it plainly. Quote, the LLMs don't excel at understanding. You still are uniquely in charge of that. So you can't be a good director if you don't understand. The bottleneck moved. It used to be how fast can you type. Now it's how clearly can you think. How well can you decide? How sharp is your judgment? The career advice writes itself. Stop training your fingers. Start training your taste. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Karpathy says, there is a very high ceiling on agentic engineering capability. People used to talk about the 10x engineer. He thinks that's now magnified a lot more. 10x is not the speed up you gain. People who are very good at agentic engineering peak much higher than 10x. Translate that. The gap between an average developer and a great one used to be 3 to 5 times. Then it was 10 times. Now, with agents, the gap can be 100 times. One person directing 20 agents in parallel can outship an entire 10-person team that's still typing by hand. This is not theoretical. This is happening in startups right now. The companies that figure this out first are going to eat the ones that don't. And the engineers who figure it out first are going to make 10 times what their peers make. Karpathy dropped a warning to every engineering manager listening. Most companies have not refactored their hiring process for agentic engineering. They are still giving out lead code puzzles, still asking candidates to invert a binary tree on a whiteboard. He says, quote, that's the old paradigm. What hiring should look like instead? Give the candidate a real, big project. Watch how they break it down. Watch how they prompt. Watch how they orchestrate agents. Watch how they review and verify. That is what the job actually is now. If your interview process tests skills the job no longer requires, you are filtering for the wrong people. You are hiring last year's engineers for next year's work. And the candidates who are great at agentic engineering, they are going to walk into competitors who actually test for it. So, what do you do today, this week, to actually become an agentic engineer? 5 steps. Step 1, pick one tool and go deep. Claude Code, Cursor, Codex. Pick one and learn it like you learned your first language. Step 2. Build a context library. Save your best prompts, your project briefs, your style guides. These are now your tools. Step 3. Run agents in parallel. Stop giving one agent one task. Spawn multiple agents on independent pieces, then merge. This is where the 10x becomes a 100x. Step 4. Build a verification habit. Never ship code you didn't read. Never trust output you didn't test. The agent is fast. You are accurate. Step 5. Ship a real project end to end this week. Not a tutorial, a real thing. With agents doing 99% of the typing. This is the only way the muscle gets built. Karpathy's final line was a prediction. In 2026, we'll see continued improvements on both the model layer and the agent layer. The product of the two is what excites him. So here's the bottom line. Vibe coding raise the floor. Agentic engineering raises the ceiling. The director replaces the typist. Context, taste, verification, and orchestration replace syntax, algorithms, and frameworks. And the gap between people who get this and people who don't is going to be 100x by the end of the year. I built you a complete agentic engineering playbook. Every Karpathy quote, every framework, the 4 pillars, the 5 step plan, and the exact Claude code workflow I use to ship faster than teams 10 times my size. Comment the word agent below and I'll send the full PDF straight to you. All 4 guides are linked in the description. Subscribe because the next year of software is being written right now and you do not want to miss it.